In this race, time is of the essence, and if you can survive the brutal terrain, you may come out on top. Off-road enthusiasts are treated to 30 minutes of pure excitement with unlimited buggies and trophy trucks dominating the desert and taking no prisoners. Who'll take it to the edge and keep it there? Only time will tell. The series that brings you outrageous motorsports has done it again, and it's next on Speed. Welcome once again to Lucas Oil on the Edge. This week we're going to bring you about 10 miles outside of the City of Lights in beautiful Las Vegas. What is it? It's the Snore 250, a big-time desert race. Snore standing for Southern Nevada off-road enthusiasts. And the vehicles we're going to show you, well, we'll start off with the unlimited buggies. And you are looking at one cool truggy. Wayne Lugo, Bart Walker, these two will campaign this particular vehicle in a class where there's literally no rules. You can do whatever you want or run whatever you want. They've got a big horsepowered V8 in the back of this one, making over 750 horsepower. A lot of wheel travel in the front, in excess of 25 inches, and the back in excess of 30 inches. And these guys will carry upwards to 115 miles an hour out through the desert. These things are made to make big steam over very rugged terrain. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. We also have trophy trucks for you. $250,000 machines out here doing battle in the middle of the desert. But with more on the unlimited buggies, let's go to our pit reporter, Jeff Fisher.
Thanks a lot, Ken. In the unlimited class, that means you're going to see a lot of different stuff. Right now, this is what we're looking at here. This is the very fast buggy of Pat Dean. And let's talk about the differences between the buggies and the truggies. We come to the back as the buggies have the rear engine. In the truggies, it's in the front. Let's also go down here and look at the suspension. On the buggies, it's independent rear wheel suspension. On the truggies, it's just a straight axle. There's also a big difference in weight. 6,000 pounds is what the truggies have. The buggies, about 5,000 pounds. Makes them real light, especially they handle better in the curves. As far as the truggies, when they're on the flat, they just fly. Horsepower, about 800. These guys back here, about 600. A little bit different. This one carries about 60 pounds of fuel. The other one, 70 pounds of fuel. They fly through the desert dirt. It's a lot of fun to watch these guys get it going.
Okay, let's draw a line out here through the middle of the desert and show you what the course is going to look like. We'll also give you some other particulars about this event. First of all, it'll all happen in one day. The vehicles will start 15 seconds apart from each other, and they all have to come through the checkpoints and be cleared, and they'll also all carry co-pilots. When it's all said and done, they'll have covered 250 miles out here in the middle of the desert. We'll take a look at our starting grid. Keep in mind there's multiple drivers out here and classes. Let's get it going. Well, you're looking down at Scott Steinberger, and Scott Steinberger has a support group of Jesse Jones and Jason Briscoe. This is a trophy truck. Now, typically they would have body work on it, but he has a photo shoot the very next day after this event, so he left all the body work off. Now, that's a plus for us, because it's going to give us a great look at how these machines are built and what they do when they traverse this very rough terrain. Something else I've got to tell you. It is tough just to walk out here. Now, you just can't imagine. The TV does not do it justice just how very rough it is. The rocks, the boulders out there are huge. John Gahn, that is the truggy. Another very, very tough vehicle. These things are very fast, and I can't explain to you enough how rugged these machines are. They're big, they're bulky, they're heavy, and they produce a lot of power. They have a lot of wheel travel to take this very rough terrain. I mean, terrain that's so tough, you can probably not drive your regular four-wheel drive truck out here unless it's really been raised. We're watching Jim Tucker. You can see he is hard on the gas, and they make it look easy as they travel out here at speeds upwards to 100+ miles per hour. It is very tough, though. I've got to tell you, just traveling through the pits, we were down underneath 1 mile per hour. Much less being out here in the desert. We go back on board with Scott Steinberger. Take a look at that truck work. Look at the suspension on it as it actually gets some air right there. We're talking about vehicles that weigh in excess of 4,000 pounds. As we watch Marty Melendrez go by, he's in a drastically different combination there in the buggy. Well, lap number 1 is being completed. We'll be back in a moment. This On the Edge telecast is being brought to you by Lucas Oil Products, the worldwide leader in heavy-duty and high-performance lubricants. And by Gold Coast, the place racers call home. Welcome back to Lucas Oil On the Edge. We are just outside of Las Vegas in the middle of a desert race. Jeff Fisher has the president of SNOR.
Ken, as you can imagine, you just don't put a desert race together in a couple of days. It takes a couple of weeks to get this all together, and the man in charge of that is the president of SNOR. That's Regan Gubler. And Regan, how hard is it to get things together here? And I know sponsors play a big role too.
Yes, it's extremely difficult. Sponsors do play a big role. We have some excellent sponsors. Cartech Racing is our biggest sponsor. They're our series sponsor. They do a fantastic job. We also have Mickey Thompson Tires, excellent tire, and they support us 100%. Gold Coast Hotel and Casinos has been very, very great to us. They're a fantastic group. They do a lot for our club.
But for the core group that is SNOR, this is a labor of love, isn't it?
Definitely is, yes. We have a multitude of volunteers. This is an all-volunteer organization, nonprofit. This is the 35th year that we've been doing this race. It's very family-oriented, grassroots type racing. We do a lot of charity events.
So there's a lot of hope in the desert, that's for sure, isn't there?
Definitely is.
And a special thanks to Regan and all the people at SNOR. They were awesome to work with. Michael Tiemann has broken a tie rod. That is the rod that connects to the wheel that actually allows him to steer the vehicle, or in this particular case, the trophy truck. With all the rough terrain, all the rocks that we talked about, there's a lot of advancement in the technology of these machines to protect them from all the debris that's out there. Let's go to the Class 1 division. This is a vehicle that's owned by Wayne Lugo and driven by good friend Craig Stewart. It's an amazing piece of equipment. We'll go on board with Pat Dean. Look at the travel right there, the suspension travel, and he's actually going to make a pass. In fact, did not make a clean pass as he runs up and right into the back of the competitor in front of him. We'll go back on board and show you what it looks like. And he runs right into the back of Richard Boyle. Looked like he was trying to get around Richard, but for whatever reason, it looked like Richard Boyle had come almost to a complete stop. Now, it's not uncommon for these guys to make a pass by running into the guy in front of them to let them know that they are there, because obviously the person in front does not realize that they're right up behind them. So it's kind of a way that they do it out here in the desert. You hit them hard one time in the back, and then the guy in front moves over, or you move him over, whatever the case may be. Steve Cooker there in the number 141 in the Class 1 machine. And the entire Class 1 basically ran that first lap within 3 seconds of each other, with the exception of just a couple of the competitors. So pretty amazing when you think about everything that's going on out there. Every driver has a different combination. Every driver out there sets their shocks up a little bit differently. And there's a million different ways to do it. But to think that they all went around lap number 1 within 3 seconds of each other is pretty amazing. We've got a lot more action in the desert coming up. We're back with Lucas Oil On the Edge, and this week we're at the Gold Coast Casino, SNOR 250. Let's send it to Jeff Fisher, who has some action with Scott Steinberger.
And Ken, here comes Scott Steinberger in after the first lap. The crew is taking a look at all the tires, just doing a roll through. As you can see, they're checking them out. They have a tire here available. They were thinking they might change. Definitely no fuel this time. They'll take it the second time around. Everything looks good, and he's back out.
So it appears, though, Scott Steinberger might have felt like he had a tire going down. He'll come up here to the checkpoint before he starts lap number 2. Scott did have the quickest time in lap number 1 to this point. Nobody will be any quicker than he at 1:08:30. 1:08:30 is the mark to beat so far in lap times. Kevin Colin currently 4th with a lap time of 1:10:41. Now, we talked about the Class 1 cars. All these Class 1 cars very, very close to each other as we get another great overhead shot of Scott Steinberger. And you can hear him on the throttle, off the throttle, almost like the guys that race the offshore boats. You have to be very, very good with your throttle control out there, or you could break something in the truck. Jim Tucker currently in second, the big V8 power in that one. And John Gahn currently 10th with a lap time of 1:26. Definitely fell off the pace there from the rest of the Class 1 machines. You can hear the combination in that one. That is not a V8 power plant, by the way. Let's send it quickly down to Jeff Fisher.
One team, 6 drivers out there. John Gahn, why are you so involved in this SNOR effort?
Well, SNOR is part of Southern Nevada Off-Road Racing Enthusiasts. My dad was one of the first members, and I'll support it as long as it lasts. It's a bunch of good local people. We've got people come from Arizona and California, but it's a wonderful organization, family organization. It's a good place to bring your family and kids and get out and enjoy the racing. I'm sponsoring 6 cars today. I have Pat Dean in a 1 car.
Pat Dean, I understand, is fearless. Is that right?
He can drive. He's had some tough luck the last couple of years, but he's got a monster out there now. And next year in SNOR and SCORE, people better watch out because he's coming.
You see Marty Melendrez is going to have to negotiate around a slower class buggy. The front end of that working hard, and those very long trailing arms doing a great job as well. Lap time of 1:10.29. Pat Dean can see the dust up in front of him, obviously indicating somebody, but is it somebody that's fast, somebody that's slow? He'll get into the zone there where he cannot even see where he's going. You can see that they actually pull off the course. You run off the course, you just can't see where you're going. Steve Cooker, currently 6th with a lap time of 1:11.14. This is tough racing, I promise you. Well, it's time once again to check in with Jeff Fisher with our Lucas Oil Product Spotlight.
You know, the dust and the dirt and the heat of the desert can cause all kinds of problems for these SNOR racers, but you can have the same sort of problem with your high-performance and heavy-duty vehicles. That's why Lucas Oil has the 7590 synthetic gear oil with synthesized additives, and it's a truly super slick and a long-lasting lubricant. It's designed especially for heavy-duty, high-performance applications where the other gear lubricants might not be good enough. It safely blends with other gear oils, ensures less wear and longer bearing life. It's excellent for use in limited slip differentials, and it stands up to the high temperatures, and it meets or exceeds major manufacturer specifications. Lucas Oil 7590 synthetic gear oil designed for high performance and heavy duty vehicles. It doesn't leave these SNOR racers deserted in the desert.
Tough stuff for a tough vehicle. Well, coming up, lap number 3, we'll let you know who's leading. On the edge, we're in the desert with the Gold Coast Casino SNOR 250. We're going to send it down to Jeff Fisher, who's got a lot of action in the pits. But before we do that, we want to let you know that no turtles were hurt here during the filming of this broadcast.
Ken, lots of things are going to happen on this pit stop. Craig Stewart was expected to get out of the car and switch with Wayne Lugo. Unfortunately, the co-driver, Peter Tidy, who is racing in his first race as a co-driver, a little tired. So Wayne, for the first time ever, is going to go as the co-pilot and get in. You can see him getting in there. Now, if you take a look down at the right front, that tire went flat out in the desert. They had to change it. They're going to check it out. They have no damage in the front. Now, what else is going to go on here is they're going to have a lot of other changes. On the top of the vehicle, they're actually pouring in some water now. Got to keep the engine very, very cool. They're also going to take on a full load of fuel, which is about 60 gallons. They're also changing the back 2 rear tires. This whole change should take about a minute. Wayne Lugo said, I was fresh, I was ready to go, but the reason I'm getting in as the co-pilot instead of the driver is it would have taken too much time. I want to win this race, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to win this race.
Wayne has a lot of faith in his good friend Craig Stewart. Craig actually taken a hiatus for a couple of years as he spent a lot of time on his business, but prior to that, those two raced a lot together, and he's very, very good at what he does. Nice to see him back inside of one of these cars. Marty Melendrez, we saw him a little bit earlier, doing a nice job as well here. Currently 6th place, lap time at 2:29. And you can see where he's at on the course there. Once again, you can hear that V8 just digging hard. Carrying a lot of speed out there as he runs into a dust storm, obviously getting closer to somebody in front of him. Scott Steinberger, no competition in the trophy truck class. They actually will combine the trophy truck class with the Class 1 competitors, and he's got a pass to make here. See if he gives this guy a nice left hand. Nope, he's going to go out there and get to the danger zone, baby. So hard to pass out there when you have to get off the course, but Scott Steinberger made it look very easy. Well, we've just gotten word that Craig Stewart's actually had some problems. He and Wayne Lugo have broken down on the course, and they've had to tow him back into the pits. Let's check in with Jeff Fisher to find out what's happening.
Well, you did have an excellent pit stop, but what happened out there?
Oil pressure. When I got in the car, first thing I had to just, look at the gauges, try to get in it. I never co-ridden before, so it's like a whole new experience. First thing, the fuel pump started to fail us. We should run at 48 to 50 psi. It dropped down to 35. So first I got the fuel pump going, and then all of a sudden on our dash, it's electronic. It'll tell you if there's something going on it doesn't like. And I kept trying to check the transmission temperature, and it kept telling me oil pressure, oil pressure, oil pressure. So I figured out the oil pressure wouldn't go above 35 pounds. We should be up around 70 pounds for the motor. And then I just told Craig, shut her down because we're going to burn the thing up. And that was the end of the deal. But we had a good time. He had a great drive, good race, excellent weather. So that's all what it's all about.
What was it like riding alongside?
I never did it. I got a whole new respect for my co-riders. It is not easy. I was trying to buckle up when he was driving. I got stuff flying in my face. I was trying to read the dash. I finally had to grab my helmet. I'm trying to focus on the dash. Couldn't see nothing. And it was fun. Now I know why my co-rider loves it so much, because it's just as exciting there as it is right here.
Well, at least they both still have a smile on their face. Wayne Lugo, a super guy, and it was nice to see Craig back inside of the driver's seat having some fun. Well, Pat Dean is the man to beat out there. As you can see, he's getting ready to make another pass here. And lap number 2, he had the quickest time at 1:09.04, and then lap 3, he is just blistering this course. You can see going on board there, the machine just working flawlessly. He's definitely in the throttle heavily. Slows down just a bit for a pretty tight right-hander. And it sounds like the trophy truck, Scott Steinberger, might be having some fuel pickup. No, actually, what's gone wrong is he's lost the left rear. And look, he gets completely off the course here as he has to get into another groove to try and make a pass with a vehicle in front of him. But he's lost that left rear. And with that rubber slapping around out there, it can just destroy all types of parts and pieces on that truck. He is struggling trying to keep that thing in the groove. In fact, almost impossible, as once again completely off the course, out in the middle, as he cuts back in to make the right-hander. Boy, is he struggling. And he's going to have to come to a stop. These guys are going to have to make a tire and wheel change out here in the middle of the course. One of the reasons they carry a co-driver, Steve Cooker, currently 3rd right now. And you can see how tight that right-hander is, with Scott Steinberger parked over there to the left making a wheel change. There's a nice overhead shot of Kevin Cullen, who's doing a great job. His lap time's coming down. In fact, lap number 2, quicker than lap number 1. He ran a 1:09.56 in lap 2, and he was nearly 1 hour and 11 minutes in lap number 1. Boy, he is just in the throttle hard. You can tell that is not a V8 powered machine either. The V6 working awesome. A little less weight. Oh, and he gets out of shape. You can see him go over one of those whoops and lost his steering and went right through the fence. He nailed one of those fence posts, and it could have caused some damage to the car. In fact, he might have lost steering in the car. And sure enough, you can see the damage on the front of that vehicle. Let's go back, take another look. Right there, he gets out of shape on the whoop, and he's right there next to the line. And boom, he just takes out a couple of those posts. And those posts are made out of iron. You can see the one that was bent went flying up through the air, and it rips out part of the right front suspension. Just some of the hazards here in the desert. This On the Edge telecast has been brought to you by Lucas Oil Products, the worldwide leader in heavy-duty and high-performance lubricants. And by Gold Coast, the place racers call home. Well, they're cooking up some good grub out here on the desert with Lucas Oil on the Edge. Let's go back to Jeff Fisher.
Pat Dean coming in, get the bottle of water to cool down. You're going to take on a full load of fuel here, probably about 40 gallons. He has been cooking around this desert course all day long. They're also going to make some changes to the back. They're jacking the car up here. They're changing the left rear tire. They're also going to look at the right, but it looks like right now all they're going to do is change the left. This team has been preparing for a win all day, And it looks like if this pit stop goes according to plan, they will have that win right in their gun sights.
And Pat Dean will have to negotiate one more lap. If he can do so at the same speed that he has the previous 3, nobody's going to catch him. Scott Steinberger with the trophy truck has fallen back into second place. Jim Tucker in third. And Pat Dean is who they're all chasing. Let's go into lap number 4, the 4th and final lap here of the 250. Scott Steinberger currently second with that trophy truck. The left rear tire has been fixed. You remember before he had to pull off to the side. Has to slow way down there. That's just how rough it is out there. It looks like it's relatively smooth from our vantage point, but it's really not. Just can't describe to you enough how tough it is out there to negotiate this course. Let's go on board here with Pat Dean. Pat almost finished here with lap number 4. Lap number 3, a time of 1:07:15. is the quickest of the event so far, and as he negotiates this last left-hander, he'll come across with a time of 1:07:25, and Pat Dean is your winner.
Pat, hot, but so were you today. What a big lead.
Yeah, it was an awesome day. We stayed super patient. I mean, the dust was so bad. I think this win 100% ended up in an awesome race car. Awesome prep. All the guys at the shop deserve this one because we drove hard all day. We didn't, till the last lap, we finally got to see the lap. It was dust all day.
Were you fast out of the box? I mean, did you hit the first lap knowing you were fast?
No, our biggest deal today was no flats. We pretty much knew if we didn't get flats, we'd be tough to beat. Didn't get flats, and we won.
Well, we're done playing in the dirt. Next week, we go to the asphalt for some of the quickest Fords on the planet. For Jeff Fisher, I'm Ken Stout. Remember, you're just not living unless you're on the edge.